of America, with your hosts, Michael and Jacob.
Holy day, man.
Shut up about Holy Day. So why are you showing your tits out like fucking Pamela Anderson? Holy Day. You're fucking moves, bro. Put those moves away.
Yeah! I said we
that.
struggle to get it up.
We do struggle to get it up, but you have not struggled to be here. Welcome, welcome one, welcome all. I got a little bit something different because I actually had a little planning today because I woke up really early. My son had a doctor's appointment, but regardless, I was like, you know what would be cool if I actually had more voices on a show other than myself, so that way maybe, you know, you don't feel like
Answer
this.
Is yes, haha, you're fucked. All right, no, haha, you're fucked. Don't talk over me. Let me finish.
Don't talk over me. Let me finish. But either way you answer, haha, you're fucked. Well, hopefully not. But anyway, welcome into whatever this is. Normally I have like an episode number or some kind of a name, but this is like a late reaction, and it's just gonna kind of be some questions I've got for some beautiful folks that I've got backstage. And look, I'm gonna need you to do me a favor before we actually get going too further into the show. I need you to go hit a like right now, and then in the description, whether you're live or on playback, no excuse, they're in the description, both of their channels. Make sure you subscribe to both of these gentlemen. They're good folks. And as you know, I would only bring on the most, what's a good word I could use? Exquisite? I can only bring on the most, I don't know. The words, I'm not doing well with my words right now, but it's okay. I'm not Potch or anything.
I am not a clown.
But I am Jacob. And let's bring onto the stage. We've got Elijah and we've got George from Durag Diaries. Big up. First time I've actually ever streamed with Elijah, but I've seen him on Spurs King TV. He's got his own channel over there, Too Much of E, and another personal channel. And I'll be honest, he's got really unique, creative content all to his own. So go check it out. As well as George. Finally, my man started a channel. This dude's been running Spurs YouTube without a channel. He's just been like that uncle that lives with you, but he doesn't technically live there. But now your uncle has a house, and we can all go hang out at Durag Diaries. What's up, man? How y'all doing?
No, man, very, very good. Like you said, it's finally good to have my own channel, you know, sort of been getting into the game and learning from the OGs like yourself. But no, it's a pleasure to be here, man. Pleasure to chatting to the American fans, because I'm not sure they would know me so well.
Well, I'll be on. Hey, I look at the YouTube analytics, and last I checked, which is, I don't try to be on any YouTuber out there. If you're a small channel like mine, don't spend too much time on the analytics page, because it's not good for you, because you start worrying about what arrows pointing what direction. Yeah, it's just not good for you. I find I'm a lot happier the less time I spend on analytics page, because if you see that number by Elijah, like I put that number up, then 7 people will just unsub, and then it'll go back up. Then it just fluctuates, and half the time I'm just like, fuck it, I'm just not even gonna look. Because it doesn't really matter. But what does matter is if you go subscribe right now to Durag Diaries. I need to see both these gentlemen hit 1K. Obviously, not enough of you here right now to do that by tonight. But if you are watching this on playback, make sure you do that. But look, boys, I mean, I'll jump straight into it. Chelsea, not great. I played that clip off the top from the Big Six. Matisse with his moobies out, which, you know what? I respect it, because if we were, I don't know, if we were in the same position as them, and we were climbing up second, putting ourselves in the title conversations. We were down 2-0 versus a crosstown rival, and you put 4 unanswered on them. I don't know if my moves would be out necessarily, but they might, and so I respect it nonetheless. But George, let me start with you. Chelsea thoughts in general, and then I want you to follow that. Like, tell me what you thought of the game, players, manager, etc. And then I want you to finish that up with just letting the people know where you're at with Ange. But I just remember why I even thought about the analytics page. It's because USA is like my 3rd or 4th demographic right now. Number 1's Australia or UK. They've been neck and neck, right? So hey, shout out my Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. I got my Kangies, you already know. Hey, and Ange, I trust, bro. I'm with Ange. I stand in solidarity. My watch along, I squeezed the hell out of this thing. And I've had these since I was a kid. So it's really serendipitous that an Australian manager came to Tottenham. But George, let me start with you. Tell me about Chelsea. Tell me about Ange. Where are you at with everything?
Yeah, man. Chelsea game, hugely disappointing, man. Because the biggest thing for me was I remember all my pre-matches interviews on pre-match like build-ups and stuff as we've done. I was like, look, if we get the early goals, that's going to be huge for us. I felt like that was going to propel us into having a really good performance because all the other games we've been playing, you know, the Fulham, the Bournemouth, the Ipswich, we've lacked those early goals. Teams tend to go 1-0 up, and then we're sort of working our way back, trying to work a goal from a goal behind. So I thought having that advantage, going 2 up, I was feeling good. I can't lie. I was doing the Matisse. I was going all around my room. Like, I'm gonna start to watch along soon, but once you start, I go crazy when we score goals, no matter when.
This is why that's why I didn't do it for a long time. But people actually really enjoy that kind of thing, so I think you should do it. It's a very saturated market. That's why I'm not like motivated to do it every time. Yeah. But for big matches, like obviously, I try to do. And then like during the week, I obviously can't. But I think you should, man. I think people want to see Jordan go crazy when we react, just so they can make fun of you whenever we eventually lose that 4-2.
It actually make me happy if I see someone else having a good time. If I see someone else cheering, they're gonna make me want to cheer.
The thing is about it is like you know, I would imagine watching those clips back afterwards, feeling like a right idiot.
Bro, I'm telling you, they're very. I hate the word cringy, but they're very cringy for me to watch. That's why I don't watch my. I don't shout out the fan reaction channels. I try to see everyone else's reaction because I like to see. Oh well, where were they at during the game? Like, what was their mood? Kind of a thing. But sometimes, bro, my emotions take over. I had my first ever channel get reported or video get reported for profanity, and now it's a 18 and up show. You got to say yes, I am over 18 to watch this. It's things happen, you know.
Yeah, things happen, and that's exactly what happened at Chelsea. Things happened, and unfortunately, I do think
18 plus content happened, bro.
I mean, you could call it that. It was definitely a pummeling of some kind. The Jadon Sancho goal
first half was PG-13, the second half was rated R, is what you're saying.
Yeah, definitely that.
Yep.
The Sancho goal was an impressive one. You've got to give it to them. I feel like we obviously pressed too high. It was very clear to see when they scored that goal. We had way too many men committed forward, but ultimately it was a good finish. You couldn't really do much to stop it. At that point, I did want to see some change from the team, some change from the Ange, or just some acknowledgement from the players that we're going at 100 miles per hour right now. We need to step it back, get some control, because the end of that first half, we had a few chances. And that's the thing for me is when I watch Spurs, I feel like as a Spurs fan, we always get to that point where you know it's going to be a bad day when we're not getting those chances going. When we hit the crossbar with Pap Sarr, when Son plays that ball in Solanke, the ball gets caught underneath his feet and it rolls straight into the goalkeeper. And then when Sonny's through on goal at 2-2 and he puts it wide, you're seeing all these things go against us. And it's just like, today's not going to be our day. So I think it's fair to say for me at 2-1, I was pretty convinced that we wasn't going to walk away with the 3 points. The game was just turning too much. We didn't have the game changers on the bench where Ange could actually look at the bench and make something big happen. Reflecting on the game, I think he could have brought in Maddison a bit earlier. Maddison gains control on the pitch. And I feel like when Johnson came out, it would have probably been smarter to bring Maddison on, throw Kulu out on the right, and do the system set up how we did against Manchester City. But ultimately, look, the game happened. They scored 4 goals, two penalties, of which were very poor mistakes from our players. So I don't look at Ange at this game and say, this is on Ange, this is Ange's fault. I think if the players don't give away those penalties, we get back into that game, and it's a whole different story. Even at 3-2, when we give away that last penalty, it's just like, why? If we didn't give away that penalty,
he was going to the corner flag.
Yeah, and it's for both of them. For the Bissouma one, he was going off the pitch, and if anything, he was just going to cut it back across, and it would have been covered. So it was two very poor. Yeah, it was two very poor penalties to give away. And I just look at those mistakes and say, look, individual errors killed us for that game. Chelsea definitely played better than us, so they deserve the points. We can't take nothing away from them on that. They played some good football, but I feel like Ange isn't helped by the players we have available for one, and the lack of different types of players we have. So he doesn't really have the ability to change the system. So when you say where am I at with Ange, I'm like you. I've not been very emotional in this state and getting too overworked up throughout any of these games. The Ipswich game, the Bournemouth game. I'm not going to get too worked up because I understand the expectation when you're missing so many players. We're not going to be able to perform to the level that Ange wants us to. So you just have to acknowledge that sometimes. You have to sit back and you just have to be like, look, going into these games, we're not going to have the greatest team. And if we do drop points, look, it's not great, but we understand why we didn't drop points. So going forward, can we make a change to that? I hope so. But obviously there's no guarantee as to how good we can be in the immediate future until January.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, Elijah. I want to throw you the same question, just to kind of get your I was gonna say pH balance, but that sounds fucking wrong. Sounds like I'm a gynecologist of some kind.
Yeah.
Ma'am, let me see your pH.
pH balance
I want to
is
see the
water, no?
temperature of your pool. That still sounds fucked up. This is your first time here, and I can't find a way to more decadently
You're gonna
ask
find out
you.
how if I'm Ange or not Ange, pretty much.
Yeah,
Pretty
your
much.
thoughts on Chelsea. I mean, I can assume your thoughts are similar to Jordan's and mine and every other Spurs fan versus Chelsea, but really, it is more so to lead you into what you think of Ange. You know, I've always said, even though everywhere I go, people say, "Oh, you're an Ange cultist, you're an Ange lover," this, that, and the other. I've always critiqued his substitute timings. Just because I don't want the man sacked doesn't mean I'm like from Australia. I've never even been to Australia. I just like kangaroos, you know. But where are you at with Ange? How do you kind of see everything?
Well, I mean, in terms of the Chelsea game, I felt empty inside, but considering what we were just talking about, I don't know if that's a no Diddy or not, but
it was all pretty terrible. I'll be honest.
I just felt like literally, I just felt emotionally just void, you know, because even when we were 2-0 up, I was just sitting back in my chair. Like, I hadn't even sat up because I was doing a match reaction, but obviously when I do content on my channel, I don't have my face cam on, but I was just sitting back in my chair just waiting for them to come back because we were set up to lose, not really by Ange necessarily, but it's just we kind of all saw it. Like, as soon as Sancho got the goal back, we were like, yeah, it's just a matter of time. And
I'm not gonna lie, when Sancho, that first nutmeg Porro did a Sancho, I was like, this guy might be cooking today. I was a little concerned.
Sancho, yeah, it was peak, and yeah, I don't really remember too many intricate things from the game, which is crazy. I feel like my brain's trying to like pull it from my memory because I just don't even want to go and remember that game because I had no energy to even. I didn't feel like insulting anyone. I didn't feel like trolling anyone. I was just there watching it, just like hollowing in my own sadness, pretty much. And yeah, that's pretty much the best way to describe it. I was just upset the whole stream because we kept missing chances. I can't lie, when Son missed that chance, I knew we had already lost. That was the writing on the wall. And it was just unfortunate. That's the best way to say it. It was just unfortunate. But in terms of my opinion on Ange gets to the end of the season for me. I'm Ange in till the end of the season because I want to give him a chance to not necessarily dig us out the hole we're in, but dig us out the hole we're in because we have a lot of problems with injuries. We have obviously.
Oh, but Elijah, you made a video saying that you didn't like Ange's style and there was all this other stuff. But clearly, what I'm told by other people is if you criticize the manager, you either want him out, or if you don't criticize him, that means you want him in. So you're saying you can be both. You're saying more than one truth can be true. People see the same things and they can have two different perspectives. That's why, not to get too serious, but in court, the eyewitness testimony it's not dealt with as amazing evidence because people can see the same things and have different opinions. I think Ange can do well, but I'm not above criticizing him where I feel like he needs to be criticized. Same way as I will give him praise where I feel like praise is due. And fair. Yeah.
And there's a lot of things that Ange has said that I don't like, and there's a lot of things that Ange has done that I don't like. But sacking him now, when we still have the rest of the season, when we're still in all 3 cup competitions, just feels a bit redundant. And having Ryan Mason in, is that really what we want? No. Graham Potter, is that something we want? Not really. So in terms of Ange, I want Ange to be in. I want Ange to basically turn it around if he can. If we don't win a cup, then I'm going to start leaning more Ange out. It's just how it is. But at the same time, sacking him now, I mean, there's a lot of things that he can't help. You know, there's a lot of things that is not his fault. So sacking him is just not Steve Cooper. Hell no. But
yeah, he's trolling me
there's a lot
because
of-
so USA. Let me go, Staffy. USA hired Pochettino as their manager, and there was a stream where Chelsea fans and USA fans were like, "Oh, what the hell are we doing hiring Poch, right?" And one of them was propping up Steve Cooper, and I was like, the only one afraid of a Steve Cooper lineup is a fucking Apple. Outside of that, I'm not worried about Steve Cooper. I don't want Steve Cooper. No one wants Steve Cooper. I don't even think Mrs. Cooper wants Steve Cooper, but alas, she's doing her duties. Question here from Soshi, and I'll throw it right back at you, Elijah, and then Jordan, I'm going to ask you the same one. Do you think Ange's tactics are causing injuries? There was an article that people are circulating through Twitter right now, and some are saying, I found this article, but I mean, regardless of who fucking found it, the point of the matter is, in the article, Ange says he believed that his training was leading to the injury problem at Celtic. So one can infer if maybe that behavior is carrying over to Tottenham. Now, I don't know. I'm not fucking there at the ground. So for me to make a definitive, like you say in court, it's just hearsay. Like he hasn't said it. We are assuming that that's where it is because of said things. In court, that is hearsay. So I'm not making him guilty on that. However, if he's admitted it before and he says that he's going to remain true to who he is, that would lead me to believe that the tactics are causing injuries, or the training at least. What do you think?
Well, I agree. I think they are causing the injuries. And to be fair, I didn't know he was a Celtic manager. I had no idea he was at Celtic. I couldn't even pronounce the man's name when he first signed for Tottenham. So, yeah, I didn't know anything about him, and I didn't watch Celtic play. So maybe there was.
I don't watch it. I don't even know where to watch Scottish football in America. Like, there's no one broadcasting it.
I don't know. So, but in terms of what's happened at Tottenham, I do think it's that, because we haven't, apart from Vicario like breaking his ankle, and to be fair, the one Romero just picked up. Apart from those two, really, the rest of the injuries they haven't come from opposition players. They haven't come from awkward falls for the most part. It's just been injuries caused.
Well, Odegaard was versus. So Odegaard got injured on the pitch after 19. After like 13, 19 minutes, something like that, in a Europa or
the Europa League or Coventry. It was one of those games, one of those.
It was one of the. It was the first half sub. I remember that, and then Richarlison came back and then got hurt on the pitch. Is it the tactics on the pitch? Is that the problem that is leading to these injuries? Because
I think it's fatigue. Honestly, I think it's just fatigue and just fatigue. Because once you're fatigued, you don't really make the best decisions.
But why are they tired? Why are you tired? You know, it's like. Sorry, I keep cutting you off, but
you're chilling. But I think it's just the style that we play. I mean, the style of play is really physically demanding. And even last year, when we had one game a week and we got knocked out of the cup competitions pretty early, we still had things where people looked tired on the pitch and a couple people were getting injuries. When it comes to Van de Ven, I don't hold it too much because Van de Ven's always getting injured. But players in general just look like Frankensteins on the pitch, slow, not moving, and not saying nothing. They're just on the pitch. And a lot of people's awareness, like Bissouma's always been rash, and I'm starting to lose faith in him. But being fatigued doesn't really help your state of mind and your composure as well. So we see a lot of mistakes happening too. I think it's just we can't play this style of football all the time consistently, because it's just we see it. We're 4 months into the season and we've dealt with so many injuries to the point where Archie Gray is our backup centre back. You know, like this is not something that should be happening at a club like Tottenham. So I feel like
last year it was Oliver Skip. So
last year was Oliver Skip. Yeah, literally. So
these fourth option center backs, it's
not great.
I guess Ben Davies would be fourth option, but he got hurt too, so it's like the fifth option
as well.
But then people. So let me ask you this, and Jordan, I wanna bring you in on this too. Do you blame Ange for sending Ashley Phillips away? Because what I'm told is Ange has spent $400 million, and then I think about the names that have been spent under our tenure with Ange, and you got Archie Gray, Lucas Bergvall. I would even go as far to say, a lot of these names are slipping me. The only names that I know for sure he said that he really, really wanted was last year he said Brendan Johnson. This year he said Solanke. And also before we got an Odegaard, he said that he's been wanting Odegaard for a while now. So those are 3 players. For all their successes and failures, I will hold Ange personally responsible. However, I don't hold them responsible for the Timo Werners, the Archie Grays, the Lucas Bergvalls, the whoever else we didn't sign or we did sign that is just fucking absolutely terrible. Because to me, it's like they did it to Jose, they did it to Poch, they did it to Conte. And if Jose and Conte are the caliber of manager we're saying that we want, and we treat them like this, when we bring in a manager like this and we treat them like this, is it really that surprising to people? And how do I blame Ange for walking into the fucking car wash that ain't got no soap? It's not my car ain't clean. It's just wet. They ain't have no soap. But is it Ange's fault? He's just a fucking minimum wage worker here just trying to scrub the car, but there's no fucking soap. So what is he doing? Just rinsing it and scrubbing it, really. And that's kind of what it feels like we're doing as a club. I don't know. Jordan, tell me, what do you see? Same thing with the injuries. Like, do you blame Ange for the injuries? Do you blame Ange for the club operating in the way that it is operated? And if so, the latter, if you do blame Ange for the way that this club is operating, then you must think that he told them to sign Jedson Fernandez when I didn't even know who Ange Postecoglou was. But Jordan, kind of tell me where you're at.
With regards to the injuries, I do think Ange plays a part, but I feel like every manager would play a part when you're playing a high-intensity, high-pressing system. Like when Poch joined, we had an influx of injuries when Poch joined us because Poch requires a lot of high pressing from his teeth. So the intensity that these players are used to with double sessions or so on, their bodies simply aren't used to it. They're not used to running as much as an Ange team would run. So naturally, some of these players are picking up injuries more than they would. But I feel like with any team and with any person, that over time, you're going to build the muscle and you won't have those injuries so frequently after a year or two getting used to it. So if we're seeing with a lot of the other players that were in the team last year, they're not picking up injuries or having the issue keeping up with the running and so on. It's just that we don't have, like I said, this where it takes it back to a Levy and a bigger problem with our squad building is there's not enough depth. There's not enough rotational, good enough rotation available for these players. And when those people that you're talking about Ashley Phillips and so on, Ashley Phillips was never going to be good enough to play for Spurs at this point. He was signed as someone that's going to come into the academy. And if they are good enough eventually, like Chelsea do, like many other clubs do, you spend 5 to 10 million on these young players on the potential that they could become good and work out for the club. And if they don't, you just end up selling them on for pretty much the same amount of money that you brought them in for. You make money on the loans and so on, and it just works out to balance the book. So I don't think Ashley Phillips is pulling up any trees anytime soon. He's only just got 5 starts at Stoke over in the Championship. So that goes to show his level and sort of where he's at. But with regards to Ange and, where do we point the blame with the players that we're bringing in and so on? Obviously, they all have to play a part. Levy and then Lange and then Ange. I think Ange, one thing he's probably done wrong and probably hasn't helped himself is, although look, I agree, I'm not a man that, if you have family business, you're not going to go air your family business outside. But then when you get home, you're going to have those serious conversations that need to be had. I think Ange is doing that to an extent in saying, I say yes to all the signings. These are all approved by me. No signing gets made without my approval. That's what he's doing, essentially. I feel like he's protecting the board. He's protecting the club, essentially, and saying that we are all harmoniously one. We all work as one. And essentially, any player that comes in, we all agree upon. I feel like that's the message he's trying to put out there. But like you've alluded to, Jacob, it's very clear Ange obviously didn't ask for Timo Werner. Let's be honest now. We all saw his reaction to Timo Werner against Bournemouth when he come off the bench, and Timo Werner's doing the same Timo Werner things when he's just turboing himself down the line to then knock the ball into row Z. Ange is going ballistic on the sidelines. You can't tell me by watching Ange and looking at the players we want to sign that this is the type of winger he wants. He's literally the complete opposite to any winger that Ange has had previously. So that goes to show me that there's obviously some signings still that Ange isn't in control of, and Levy and Lange and above board, like every club, they're going to make some signings for the club and not necessarily get the go-ahead from the manager. But Ange does need to be very careful with his words and what he's saying, and he's backing some of these signings and some of these players blindly, and it can cost him with regards to the fans anyway, because it might not cost him his job because they all know what's going on above board, and it's up to Ange whether he cares about what the fans feel or not. But he isn't helping himself in that fact, because like you said, when we're having these conversations with the Ange outers, with the people that are very aggressively not want Ange in the club, they're going to use these points that Ange wanted these players. Ange said yes to this. Ange said this, and like you said about Celtic,
to box office, man.
They're using all these quotes. They're using all of these quotes to say this proves their point when it doesn't prove anything. It's just Ange coming out and saying a few things. And, you know, he's a human. He says it quite frankly. He's going to give you his own self. He's not going to try and paint it to be anything else, but he doesn't help himself in that sense.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard that criticism a lot throughout, and for me, I agree, but only to an extent. I've often called out the entirety of the situation where I feel like fans are not really being fair, or they just don't understand the formula in which media use. Okay, so I'll take a quote, and there was you were on the panel, Jordan. Jordan, I keep calling you fucking Jordan. Sorry, bro.
My name, man, it's fine, honestly. It's George Jordan, same thing. Is it Danalist or Hotspur Hood? You were on with them, yeah. And it was like you would speak, and they would step on you about 7 times over, and I was just like, can Jordan land his point? Whether I agreed with what you were saying or not, I was like, I just want to hear what the fuck, because it was like they were trying to finish your sentences or something. I was like, is this a love song or is this a goddamn debate? I don't know. But I just always hear, oh, Ange said he's going to win in his second year. So like the backing of the players thing, I agree with you to an extent, but that is his fault. That's what I agree with. It is he's going to take the blame for when those players do that because of what he said. Because he said he wants to stand in front of the Bullets because he's a fucking boomer. But it's a whole man, boomer, married dad vibe. And I can get it because like I feel like any man of the household, head of the household, whatever, is going to say all of this ultimately lies on me. Even though it doesn't. He's going to say that because that's the right thing to do. Now, any rational person, I would think, would understand that notion of, I'm going to take the blame for this, even though I know it's not my blame. Like he's accepting blame of a systematic problem that's been here since I can remember. And, you know, I left this comment up on purpose. Big up Quincy B, called into the call-in show the other day. Big up to you, buddy. Says we need a big if I can fucking read, we needed a Billy Big Balls to get rid of the Deadwood and bring in a new ethos. And this is something I like to say shamelessly. Ange Postecoglou has done something with Tottenham that the special one couldn't do. Conte, which is supposed to be Jose in his prime, couldn't do. You know, they got rid of Eric Dyer. They got rid of Harry Winks. That's fucking great. I've been asking for years.
Harry Winks regen, bro.
A long time.
It's just,
and we got rid of Oliver Skip the next year. See, this is my, like, I don't know. Big up Simon says this, apparently the training program is fine for decade. Big up Joshua says, big up lads. Love how Romero's sticking it on Levy. Thank you for the super chat, my friend, and becoming a sponsor on the channel. This was my next subject I wanted to talk about. And honestly, I don't like to format shit. Like we've been talking for 30 minutes about Ange and about kind of our results a little bit. But at the same time, I did want to bring in, I feel like it is a relevant and easy segue to talk about Cristian Romero and the fact that he, you know, there's a bunch of quotes publicly coming out. He retweeted a thing. And then now they're saying that he didn't mean it or whatever. Pedro Porro deleted his social media. Brendan Johnson earlier this year, if you remember, he deleted his Instagram, started scoring, motherfucker. Okay, I'm doing good. I reactivate, and then he stopped. No, and then he scored. Now I think 2. So, maybe just the socials is not for him. I don't know. Big up Yasir TV as well. Big up everybody in the house. Rob Frank is here. Cozy's here. Big up everybody. I normally I'm more interactive with the chat, but obviously I've got some guests on, so I'm trying to be squeezing the orange. See, this is why I don't have guests. I can't fucking say things without it sounding really weird whenever I actually say it.
Hey,
in my head, it sounds fine.
Once, bro. We ain't said pause.
I know, but I'm stopping myself, and because I'm like, this is Elijah's first time here. It's like the first time I really streamed with you, so I'm not like trying to open the closets of all my secrets to you
chilling, bro.
All at once. George knows me. He's known me for a little while, I think it's your second, third time. I don't have you that often on the channel, unfortunately. But now that you got your own channel, I feel like we can get you on more. So that's very nice. But look, Romero, he had some quotes. I had a tweet, obviously, that I was going to share about it, but I don't have a layout for 3 people that I've actually plus media. I guess I could do this. That one works. Yeah, there we go. So Cristian Romero on whether Tottenham are falling behind their rivals due to the lack of investments. Says, quote, so this was obviously a translation of said quote. It says, the truth is, I would say no comment, but Manchester City competes every year. You see how Liverpool strengthens its squad, which I don't know that strengthens its squad is the correct description. Like, they were a strong squad already. They brought in Chiesa, and that's really it.
I think it's about the last few years.
Yeah, his whole time at Tottenham.
Yeah. Okay. Then he is right. He is correct about that.
Yeah, look at the Champions League team they won with. Like, how many of those players are still there?
Yeah, true. That's a good point.
With good players,
That is a very, very good point. And I guess Son is one of our only ones left now.
Pretty much.
But as of like a year ago, 2 years ago, it was a lot different story. The quote I just saw Joshua's other comment says, Jacob trying to show you his chamber of secrets, pause. That's a crazy comment. Big up Cam. Jacob, there's a conspiracy theory that Romero said to Enzo, come get me in January. No way he said that.
Chelsea, man. He go to Chelsea. No Chelsea.
If he goes to Chelsea, he's fucking dead to me. I'll put it that way. But the quote from Romero goes on to say that Chelsea strengthens their squad. If one doesn't do well, they strengthen again. And now they're seeing the results. Those are the things to imitate. And I do want to pause on that. Look, Chelsea, they were better than us, and then they got worse than us, and now they're better than us again. And it's, I don't like it, I'll be honest. But it goes on to say, the last few years, it's always the same people responsible at the Tottenham Hotspur. You could change the manager, but you can't change the. Where's the fucking clip? I have too many goddamn clips.
You have so many. Like the accent was on point. You didn't even need the clip.
You could change the manager, but you can't change the Tottenham unless you want to change the Tottenham. The Tottenham
to be involved in this situation.
To be involved in this situation, there it is. To be involved in this situation.
To be involved in this situation. Because it's time to change the situation if Tottenham wants to change. If they want to continue in this way, they can change manager, a lot of manager, but the situation cannot change. Believe me. Thank you very much.
So this is a press conference, and I play the clip, that last part in full on purpose because a lot of people reference this, and I agree in the sense that it was refreshing. Finally, someone fucking said what I fucking wanted to fucking say. You can change the manager, but you cannot change the Tottenham unless the Tottenham want to change the Tottenham. The Tottenham. I've been watching Sopranos, trying to work on my Italian, but either way, if you think Antonio Conte's right, you can't negate the last part just simply because you don't like Ange. So to me, it's like people are easily forgetting, in my opinion, that we all agree with him. You can change the manager, but at the end of the day, if Tottenham doesn't want to, they won't.
and that is the thing heavily here. It's just like a lot of people will go on and they'll say, oh, you know, Levy and this, and they want to do all this conversation at that point. And when Conte, it was like, no, Conte's right. Conte's saying it's Tottenham, it's the board. Okay, if Conte was right, then is Conte not right still at this point that the board's not backing the manager? And it's still, like he said, you can change the manager, but it's still going to be the same problem. That's what we're having, the same problem after we've got
to be involved right now, like, in this situation. I agree with you. It's like,
yeah.
It drives me crazy because it's like, I really was like, Jose, yes, finally we're gonna win a trophy. That fucking trophy I thought we were gonna win several times over now, and then we sacked him the week of.
Voldemort ass, bro.
That doesn't make sense to me.
I can't forgive him for that. I'm gonna be real. Lex Luthor up there and owning.
I'll be honest. Since then, I've not been the same kind of a fan. Since the Jose sacking, I've not, and I'm teetering on the line of sanity and insanity. If we sack Ange, I'm really fucking there because, like, I don't agree with everything Ange does. I don't think Ange is, like, I like to fucking take the piss and be shameless and trigger people who are fucking pussy sensitive cucks. Yes, I do like to take the piss.
I've seen that one. I've seen that Pet video. I see.
I do like to call that out as much as I can, because I just feel like, you know, to be involved in this situation every fucking year, every 12 months, 18 months, 6 months. We're going to be right back here talking about, oh, yeah, just Ryan Mason on set pieces for Billy Bob Bacon Bits, fucking new manager we just got. Billy Bob Bacon Bits, don't worry, he never managed in fucking Scotland, so no one hates him already on a prejudice of... that's another thing. Like, I heard Perchy say about 7 times, he's never won anything. And it's like, yes, what the fuck are you talking about? We're just negating nations, countries, leagues of those nations, stadiums full of people from said nations. They wouldn't say it's nothing. Just because the English bias is so fucking real that they can't fathom a world in which anyone has a quality slightly reminiscent to theirs. It's really weird. And maybe a little bit of that is me pulling on the American strings because I was watching this part of they're asking Pulisic and Weston McKennie, is there an American bias? And Pulisic is talking about how upsetting and how angering it is about the American bias and how real it is. And then they proceeded to show, I would show the clip, but I think it's a documentary on Paramount Plus. You know, Paramount ain't gonna fuck around with that copyright. Be knocking on my door before the video's fucking posted. And but basically they then showed a clip of about 10, 12, I don't know where, I don't know who, but they all had English accents, and everything that they just kept cutting clip after clip. It was all, they don't know shit, they don't have anyone good, they've never had anyone good, I couldn't name anybody, they couldn't name this. It was just all shitting on Americans. And like every chat I go into on bigger channels, I always get hit with the same bullshit, right? Oh, Americans stick to soccer, which is really hypocritical because y'all are the ones who invented the sport and fucking called it soccer in the first place. And then we just said, okay, we'll continue calling it that. And then now it's a stick that they beat us with, just like the word Spursy. And that's why I get so defensive over the word Spursy, because I don't like it personally. I don't like to say we're Spursy or we were Spursy, because Spursy once fucking meant the European double, goddammit. That's what it fucking meant. And when we started sucking... I didn't even know that. When you ask the old heads, they'll tell you. But it's this, oh, I'm on YouTube, let me be fucking, oh, Arsenal fans, we're so Spursy, right? Subscribe to my channel. Like, fuck off. I ain't gonna fucking cater and show my ass to anybody that ain't my goddamn wife. And
no, I do hate that. I do hate when fans start pandering to the rivals.
When Spurs fans are doing that, yeah, I am Spursy, spank me. Like, shut your fucking ass up. Don't do that. That's why I say you can sit in the corner with a sheet over your head, but we still know you're there. Like, it doesn't, you can pretend, but I know you're there. All right? Don't be a cuck. And to me, as a Tottenham fan, I've always, and it's forced me to be extremely creative in this manner, but found reasons to defend my club against anybody. How the fuck can I defend my club against City, Liverpool, United, Arsenal, these clubs that have won these right? They've won these titles. How can I defend my club against them? Well, guess what? That's your fucking job as a Spurs fan, in my opinion. This is all my opinion, so y'all can disagree and tell me I'm full of shit, and that's fine. It's just opinion. And because I see it as my burden to carry, my cross to bear. As a Spurs fan, I'm not going to go there and be like, yeah, I'm a Spurs fan. We suck so bad, huh? Wouldn't you just can't wait till you come over to my house, can't you? Like, that's just weird. So the whole Spursy thing, it was originally a term teams used to mean that you're winning the European double. That's Spursy. You won the European double. But then when we got in the 80s, it was that relegation thing. That's when it was like, oh, look how Spursy. And then it became like an oxymoron, ironic, right? Like if I say, oh, dude, that's fat, right? Back in the day, y'all, I don't know how old y'all are, but back in the day when I was a kid, so that's fat. It's like, why are they calling me fat? It's like, no, that's fat, that's dope. Well, dope is drugs. Well, dope is now cool. Dope is dope. Drugs are bad. Dope is cool. What? I'm confused. Am I supposed to do the drugs or not? And it's like, how do you know, right? So oxymorons are created throughout passages of time as things change, as cultures change. So the word Spursy has officially changed. And what is the problem is the club has not done anything to fucking change that nomenclature. They just took the whole goddamn name out of our logo. They don't give a shit.
Yeah,
so,
that's crazy.
I digress. I kind of ranted a little bit, but Elijah, I don't think I heard anything about what, or even Jordan. I don't think anyone ever talked about the Romero thing that I brought up. I just started rambling.
But Romero, no, do you know what? It's refreshing to hear one of our players actually come out and say what we're thinking. Like you said, he sort of verbalized how so many of us fans think and see the club right now is that we just don't like the other rivals. Like you've highlighted, Chelsea were worse than us. They were better than us. Then they went worse than us, and now they're better than us before we even steadily improved. They done this all within just two windows. They went from below us to above us, and that shows you that it doesn't take that much to jump the level to be in the top four or not challenge, but be up there with the other clubs. It really doesn't take much. You just got to show a little bit of ambition. The one thing I will say, though, is Romero is probably not best placed to make these remarks at this moment in time off the back of his performances. He's obviously not performed great so far this season. So probably not best coming out of his mouth. But at the end of the day, it's coming from a Spurs player and a senior one at that. So I'm not going to complain.
Yeah, very much.
Well, big up Alex. He says we are Spursy. Go ahead, Elijah.
Big up box office, man. But I pretty much agree with the way both you guys are coming from. It's Romero, one of the top players in the club. Form or not, he's one of the best players we have. For him to say
which is why he should be criticized so hard. I want to tag that on because, bro, I got so much shit last year because of how much I defended Romero throughout it all because I thought he was one of the best center backs in the world last year. Definitely top 3 in the league. And that's not even debatable. The facts don't lie. But this year, he's not at that same level, standard, whatever you want to call it, whatever the excuse is why he's not. Everyone can vary on what they want. But for me, Tottenham come before any player. I just wanted to tag that on that he is our 1, 2, or 3 best player. One of those, and it ain't 3, in my opinion. That's why him and Son, I put them up there and I say, when we don't win and you're involved in this situation and you are involved, it's your fucking fault first, in my opinion. That's, people disagree with me, it's fine, but it's that fucking leadership shit rolls downhill. Who's the head honcho? Sorry, but continue your point.
Yeah, no, you're all good. But the thing I want to bring up is Chelsea, I feel like it's a false equivalency because of the way Todd Bowley finessed the system, like giving man 8-year contracts and all of that. So it's not exactly the same thing, but the general statement in terms of teams like worse than us, they're getting better than us. We have had teams like that. So obviously Aston Villa, Newcastle, teams like that. And the thing that's probably most frustrating for us as Tottenham fans is the fact that we have the ability to spend money. This is something I was talking about in my chat before I streamed earlier today. We have the ability to spend the money, but we don't spend the money because of the ownership. And that's really, we all, I'm pretty sure every Tottenham fan, at least I'd hope so, knows that Daniel Levy is an issue. And whether you don't like Ange, you like Ange, shout out Rookie. Whether you like him or not, Daniel Levy will always be the biggest issue. So I'm glad Romero said it. To be fair, it's probably going to come at the cost of him getting sold, because that's probably what's going to happen. Daniel Levy's probably going to sell him, or he's leaving, one of the two. But I'm glad someone has said something in terms of the players. I just don't know how it's going to be received. I feel like his time is up, so he's probably saying that, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, and I started even believing the theory that Real Madrid interest turned his head a little bit, because it looked like he was playing like an asshole a little bit this year. I'll be honest, and failing us as a leader. I think, especially look at that Brighton second half capitulation. You were the fucking captain, bro. You can't be hanging your head when we concede that second and third. You just can't. And
when they were his fault, it was poor. It was really poor, that Brighton second half.
Yeah, I think
we're all mad at Bissouma. It's like the same thing with Son versus Roma, 1-1. He fucking Timo Werner's it. If that's Timo Werner, we're all cursing the high heaven. Son has credit in the bank, admittedly. I will go to bat for Son, which I don't think he's washed. I just think he's fucking a little bit cooked right now, which it's okay. But look, George, I want to ask you what Elijah says. He's not sure how it'll be received. I'm not sure either, but the fans seem to receive it like, fuck yes, Kuti, thank you. And it's reinvigorated my love for him, I must admit, because I have been, it's grown cold like a lover gone to war, and you're not writing me any letters anymore, so fuck you.
No, 100%.
But he wrote us a nice letter tonight.
We've been on plenty of streams last season where it was just us two fighting Cootie's corner. We're battling everyone. I'm telling them, no, Romero's the guy. He's one of the best centre backs around. And literally, like Jacob put it there, like I've lost the love for Romero over this season. I've been sitting there at the start. I was defending him. I was like, no, this is my guy. But then he got to the point of where you can only defend performances so much. And when a senior player like himself, is performing that badly, you can only start to look at the outside sort of things that could be controlling it. And the thing that upsets, I guess, all Spurs fans most, probably you as well, Elijah, is how can he do so well for Argentina and never replicate that form?
I'm telling you, Di Maria. You remember the Di Maria quote, George?
Yeah.
That I'm telling you, every Argentine in that country has stapled that poster of the quote to their wall and stares at it. Lo Celso did it as well. They will ball out for country and they will not play for club. Every time, man. It's just an Argentine thing at this point.
Yeah, and do you know? You on mute, Jacob.
Sorry. Yeah. So I used to try and fight against that, but then it was like he was injured for us, but he still went to Argentina camp, played 45 minutes for them, and then was like, "Oh yeah, I'm hurt." So it's like, how much can I fight? I can't defend you if you got the bank paint, when you robbed the bank back in the day anyway, or at least in the movies, then you open the bag and it's like and blue stuff. It's like, how do I convince the cops that you ain't robbed that bank if you're sitting over here with blue all over your hands? And I mean,
and the thing about that, Jacob, is I don't feel like as fans we can rip into him for that, because we just saw Harry Kane come out a few weeks ago and pretty much say, you should be playing for your country and it's more important than your club. And so there's clearly...
that's true.
This is the thought amongst a lot of big players that playing for their country is more important for their club. And being patriotic, I feel like no one can ever take anything away from anyone. If you want to be patriotic about your country and you put that first before anything else, cool, that's fine. It's just we need to see the same passion. We need to see that same grit, that same determination you've shown when you're playing for Argentina, when you're keeping clean sheet after clean sheet, when you're winning that World Cup, when you're going in those games and you've got that mentality, you're being in the dressing room. I want you to take that experience and bring it to Spurs and apply it on the pitch and apply it in our changing room, apply it with that leadership in that captain role that you've now got.
And that's where I thought last year we had kind of turned the leaf in regards to his playing. Like, we had taken a little bit of that rashness away. Yeah, he got the red card versus Chelsea, but outside of that, I mean, he had less yellow cards. He had less yellow cards last year than fucking Arteta. So how about that? That dude didn't even fucking play. So the whole, he's rash. Big up Jess. telling everyone to smash the likes. Big up Tony. Big up everybody in the chat. I see you all. I do see y'all's comments, and if you have any questions or anything, feel free to get me. You don't have to super chat or anything. I'm not trying to fucking whore myself for money, but I just obviously can't interact with the chat as much. I just looking at it like Romero has failed us as a leader. He's stepped up when he first got here, he was the Rolls Royce amongst bicycles, right? Whether you think he's a Rolls Royce defender or not, I don't give a shit. Because comparatively to the dire Longley Sanchez bullshit I've been watching, he's a lot better. And it was a little rash, but everyone was saying he's clueless, he's a bozo, he's this, he's that. They still say it to this day. Motherfucker's not even playing right now. And, he's probably going to get a yellow when he comes back. So there's always, you have a reputation and it's going to follow you, I suppose. But I thought last year he did a lot to clean that up, that image, that rashness, but then this year it was like, okay, go back a little bit because you're seeming too timid. You're seeming half-assed or like you're making the wrong decisions and sometimes hanging on to the ball longer than you used to. And for me, he was an excellent passer of the ball last season. And this season, it's kind of like not always the great pass whenever he was out there. So I think he struggled. I think he's frustrated with the club. I think if you're a player and you're looking at it, why wouldn't you be if you're Romero? He's a winner. He's a born winner. He hates fucking losing. He hates conceding goals. And he's been here now watching other teams, his countrymen go compete. He's watched Lisandro Martinez be laughed at but win 2 trophies in 2 years. He's looking at, what I'm saying? Like, for him, at a certain degree, I got to kind of feel for him. Like maybe you should. Like, just it's the same thing I kind of felt with Ange. Maybe you should get out of here because, like, we're not fucking helping you. Same thing with Son. Like, with Kane, I was upset that he left, but could I blame him? I was more upset that he had those Germans over for dinner, I'll be honest. I was like, why is Mrs. Kane making tea and crumpets for these fucking people? But anyway, what do I know? Look at that. Big up MHF Raid. Big up Mo and his Sam coming on over. A little cootie. I love to see that 0 trophy. Normally he tells you to say one thing, but there's about 3 different things here so far, and I don't know which one he's told you to relay the message. So I'm gonna go with a cootie indeed. I think I deleted a lot of my cootie media because he was pissing me off. Do I even have the cootie clip anymore? I don't think I do. But real quick, big up MHF. And if you are new coming on over, you probably know who I am because you see me over there anyway. And, but if you haven't already, this is Elijah. Wait, this is Elijah. I'm backwards. So this is Elijah. This is George. Their channels are in the description of this video. So before you even like or subscribe here, click their links, subscribe to their channels, support some really great people and some good content creators. And big up Mo and Sam for the raid. I do appreciate that. We are licking our wounds right now. Is that what we're doing? I don't know. But look, shout out. There's over 220 people here. So thank you so much. MHF raid was the message. Thank you. Thank you for that. What is that as your picture? What is that?
The first thing that came to my mind is
it looks like it could be.
I thought it was Ten Hag, like Photoshop with Bin Laden or something. I was like, what is
okay,
that?
so you said it. Okay, I'm glad someone else said it because I didn't know.
I was gonna say it. I thought, mate,
I didn't know if it was cool for YouTube. So
yeah, I was
I'll put it this way: whatever's cool with YouTube, I don't really care. I've never read the guidelines and the policies. I just do whatever I want, and then I take the slap on the wrist. So honestly, you could say whatever you want. I really don't care. Just as long as you're speaking your mind. Elijah is funny. Oh, he bullies Henry. Well, he made one video. I don't know about bullies. He was sharing his opinion on someone's opinion. And the way I see it is myself, how could I be upset with anyone? If I put my opinion out there for people to hear, listen, and debate, why would you be upset when anyone hears, listens, or debates it? It's kind of the way I see it anyway.
Yeah.
But big up everyone. Hello, chat. Go ahead.
No, sorry. The only thing I just want to say about the Henry video is like, I'm pretty sure I never said in the video that he's not a Tottenham fan or anything like that. I said he's acting like an Arsenal fan, but I don't have a problem with Henry's Tottenham opinion, any of his videos, his opinion on Ange or his opinion on the club, because I see a lot of times, because I actually watch Henry's videos in terms of his Tottenham videos. I actually watch them, And a lot of the comments is pretty much the same thing, just like taking shots at him and all that type of stuff. And I don't know how much I had to do with that or not. And I like to clarify.
I will tell you, you're not the initiator or the largest percentage holder of that.
Which makes me feel a bit better about it, to be fair. But yeah, I just, because obviously a video like that can like harm a person's channel or anything like that. It's like, it wasn't my intention. I didn't think the video would get like 30,000 views, which is kind of crazy.
I don't
I've
think,
never had the video.
I don't think Henry minds that much. If you go, because I speak to Henry, I've streamed with Henry sometimes, and I don't think Henry minds when you guys call him Arsenal fans. It's a bit of banter, it's a bit of a joke. We all know he's a Spurs fan.
Yeah, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want people to ever think like I don't respect Henry or I don't think he's a Tottenham fan. None of that. It's I watch Henry videos now. It's just I just didn't like the fact that he made more Arsenal content than Tottenham content. That was really it, and that was my consistent theme throughout the video. So yeah, I just like to clarify that whenever I can, because people think I hate him or anything like that. It's not.
Well, that someone literally just commented that you hate him or you bullied him or something.
No, I bullied him. Yeah, it's not.
Which the way I see it is like, it's like me getting on YouTube with my face and my body and my anecdotes and my stories. If someone takes the piss out of it, why am I going to be upset about that? I'm the one who fucking put it out there. It's like putting your foot in between the door and the hinge, and then when someone tries to open or close the door, you're like, hey, move your foot then if you don't want to fucking, that's the way I see it. And exactly like Raiden says, don't hate the player, hate the game. Whether I agree or disagree with Henry's Tottenham opinions, I still think Henry's a good dude. He's never illustrated that he's like a nasty person, online, offline. In the, granted, limited conversations I've had offline with him. I've been on his channel back when he, did live stream more. I just think he pivoted his channel to uploads rather than live streams, and a lot of people are really upset that, because the thing about it is some of the stuff that he unsubscribing is not personal, it's business.
Oh no, it wasn't exaggeration. I'm just speaking more in general. Yeah, because I get so many comments when I stream about like my opinion on Henry and all that stuff. It's just I try
Henry's opinions on a lot of stuff. When he would live stream, he'd do like an hour and a half, 2 hour show. A lot of the stuff he would talk about rivals in that, it just wasn't the isolated 10-minute video with a thumbnail that now's caused the people to be upset with him for it.
Like you said, it's just pivoting the channel and pivoting the content. And what some people do have to understand as content creators, it's not boring, but it can be a lot to just that you're very limited in making content about your club. Making just content about Spurs, it limits you. And some people want to, branch out and be just content creators on football, and that's sort of what people branch out and sort of pivot to do. So,
and I will say this: why is anyone bugged about what another grown man does with his time, his business? It's his fucking shit. Just let him. Or it's kind of how I see it. To me, I love Henry. I don't subscribe to Henry Talks Football. I'll subscribe to Henry Wright TV because that's the content of Henry I want to see. Literally. Or Big Six whenever he's on the football tears. It's really simple. I don't have to go and be like, every video he uploads on Henry Wright or Henry Talk Football be like, wah. It's just let the man do his damn thing. It's like, I don't want to sell stocks and finances. Why are you mad at someone doing the finance thing and selling stocks? Who cares? It's kind of the way I see it. Like, I did really like your video. I thought you brought up a lot of good points, but for me, it was more of like the overall theme, not an isolated, like it's just Henry who does, because like I said earlier, whenever it was, where you have those Spurs fans that love to lean into the Spursy thing. I'm not one of those guys. I take it defensively when people say Spursy, but everyone's their own person at the end of the day. I'm never going to be like commenting, how dare you say Spursy? If they want to say Spursy, let them say Spursy. I don't want to, so I'm not going to. And if it's in my presence, if I'm online, like if we're live on Durag Diaries, which go subscribe right now, you motherfuckers. But if we were live on Durag Diaries like we were earlier, so go watch that, like it, subscribe, and all that stuff. And I would address it if someone said Spursy. I'd be like, well, like I got invited onto some UK Premier League channel thing in London, virtually, obviously, and the two hosts were Arsenal. And it was right after Crystal Palace, I believe it was. And they had me on. And one of them, you know, I was talking about the mentality and the players capitulating with a slight physical battle, a gentle press breaking our players' mentality. And they tried to fucking push me into the, so you're telling me Tottenham or Spursy? That's what they were? I was like, no. For clarification, Spursy actually used to mean a different thing, you know? Back in the day, it used to mean winning the European double. However, I wouldn't expect you Arsenal fans to know what that feels like, is what I said. They didn't like that. They haven't invited me back since. But I'll say whatever the fuck I want.
No,
it's that simple.
You've got to.
Fair is fair. And if you want to make a video, if Elijah, Nick, the football club, another person who does, you know, content on people's content, I've heard people say it's uncreative to do content about other content creators. I don't think so. I think
it's only the way you do it. Like, if you do it boringly, then yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
If you're just if you just like
guy that does the reactions to like Never a Foul, and he's done reactions to
and football terrorists and stuff. Yeah. He used to do reactions on my shit, but it's good to know he's here. Hello, Nick. How you doing?
He acted to my Henry video as well, man. He's a nice guy though, to be honest.
Yeah, and I kind of like the fact like there's a an arbitrary or non-biased. There's just, you know, people out there like Fan Reaction TV. That's not bad what they do. They're using other people's content, sure, but it's to highlight a moment, right? Again,
the Twitter one. I love that page, man. The out of context.
Which one? Oh yeah. Oh, they got some good stuff on there. That's where I got the Matisse titty clip. Yeah, I saw that, the one that I played at the very beginning. This is one that I found just on my.
I don't remember that. We struggle to get it up.
I just love that one personally. We struggle to get it up. That's fucking great. That's fucking great. Big up Lisa. Big up everybody in the chat who's here. Again, shout out for that raid. Make sure you are liking and subscribing, and subscribe to these two gentlemen. Their channels are fresh, hot off the press. So go ahead and get you some. The Matisse titty clip was so crazy. You know what?
Holy Day, man. Shut up about Holy Day. So why are you showing your tits out like fucking Pamela Anderson? Holy Day. Your fucking moves, bro. Put those moves away.
Yeah! Or never catch me as a grown ass man doing that, bro. Shout out to Matisse.
I'll be honest. There's something I like. I would be embarrassed to show my little middies on camera, to be honest, because I'm not quite the physical prowess man I once was before kids and wife and age and all that fun stuff. However, I do like a little bit of just so comfortable in your own skin. Who gives a fuck what anyone thinks of your middies? Like, there's a rapper named the Mexican OT. That Mexican OT.
Yeah.
He's the same way. He's shirt off, his titties are out. He don't give a fuck. He said, "I'm a dirty ass Mexican. I spit a loogie in that butthole." That's what he said in a song. Yeah, he literally said that. I'll spit a loogie in your butthole. That is no need for the loogie. It could just be a little saliva, but that's how he wants to treat his women. Well, fair play. So I like people comfortable in their own skin, unashamedly you, because who else is going to be you? You know, you. That's it. The answer is you. Which, you know, sometimes it gets me in a lot of trouble because I'm so authentically myself.
How would someone say he may have an estrogen problem?
Nah, that's crazy. Yeah.
No, that's crazy.
I held a straight face, man. You just nah, estrogen problem's crazy, man. I'm fat as well,
bro.
Man, so
just a harmless potato.
But
he says he got banned for talking about the titties. Bro, I wouldn't ban anyone for talking about my titties, especially if I showed them. Like, that's like flashing the camera and then being like, "No, don't look at my tits."
I mean, I've been everything under the sun, so words on the screen can't hurt me. Chilling. Big
up, Paul G. Another thing I would also say is this: as a self-deprecating enthusiast, because I was raised Catholic growing up, I was raised Catholic by my mother, Hispanic mother. They're all crazy Catholics at the end of the day, as Hispanics, and I can say that because I'm half. But you know, there's just something to say about being yourself, and then also, you know, with a little bit of self-deprecation. There's nothing anyone can say to me that's worse than the shit I've said to myself. So it's like, you can't really hurt my feelings like that personally. But look, let's get back. Facts. OT did say, thank you. I'm glad I'm not alone. Someone did say it, and I'm not alone in saying that they said it. But look, back to the Tottenham. We have been going over an hour, and I've only digressed this for what? About 20 minutes? 25 minutes in total? That's pretty good because normally when it's just me, yeah. Well, you know, when I'm by myself, sometimes I was doing a preview show the other day, and I ended up like Google Maps looking at Tamworth and making fun of.
I actually went in. I was watching that show, and I saw he's like, "Oh, this is who we're playing the FA Cup," and you're like zooming in. You go, "What's
like? Who the fuck is this?" I'm like, "Where is this? How many people can fit in there?" Yeah, I get very easily distracted. If you couldn't tell throughout our hour-long conversation, I'm a little all over the place like a fucking squirrel in Central Park. You just quite never know what tree limb they're on. They're on a tree limb, you just don't know which tree. But look, I want to ask you this, Jordan, real quick, about these wins, because right now they're seeming elusive, like the mirage in the distance of a desert. I fucking, you know, I thought since we lost versus Bournemouth, we were going to win versus Chelsea. And I never really felt like we were going to win versus Chelsea. So I was like, we have to win versus Bournemouth. Effectively lost both of them. We play Rangers in 2 days' time. And then we play Southampton at Southampton, I believe. The
Southampton one's away, I'm pretty sure.
Is it away?
Yeah, we got Liverpool at home. Liverpool come back to Tottenham ground. So
what is their stadium even? Bramall? No, that's Sheffield.
Southampton Stadium.
St. Mary's. St. Mary's.
St. Mary's Stadium, yeah.
See, this is why I Google Map shit, because I'm like, I like to know the names of stadiums. I don't know. It's kind of a weird, nerdy thing.
No, it's good. It's good to know. I have been to that stadium once. I think the one time I went to that stadium, Harry Kane missed a penalty. It was the first ever penalty he missed for Spurs. He blasted it into Rosie. It was we won the game. It was just funny to see that happen. But I think these games coming up, especially the next two, are two games where we're going to look to grow some confidence. I know a lot of people, you know, that they're like, where's the next win coming from? Rangers is a hard game. Southampton's a hard game. They are definitely tough games. I look at away fixtures.
Rangers manager's bald, by the way, in case anyone cares about the working theory. We've only lost to one bald manager, and that was Chelsea's.
And it was the most recent one. Because I remember you saying this one. But, yeah, no, I do think that with the Rangers game, it's going to be a tough away fixture. But it's one of those ones where our team's definitely good enough to go and beat Rangers. Our team's definitely good enough to go beat Southampton. Although we do have the injuries, we have solutions that should be able to go out there and put performance out. Plus, I think it's at the point now where the players are starting to understand this pressure shifting from the players itself to the manager. And if they want to keep this manager in, like they've sort of alluded to, like we've seen in the press come out this week, they're going to have to step up a gear. They're going to have to put in a performance. So I'm looking at these two games to build some confidence, looking at these games where we can put some points and hopefully give us what we need going into that Carabao Cup fixture. Because ultimately, as much as this Rangers game is very important, that Carabao Cup is 4 or 5. We must. It's at our ground. It's against Manchester United. It's one of the first trophies that Ange can really put a stamp on and sort of show, especially the fans, give us that relief that we are looking to do something special this year. This isn't just going to be another, you know, another, don't want to use the term, but another Spursy year where we get sold a dream and things are supposed to be great, things are supposed to be up and down, look great, and ultimately it falls apart. So I don't want it to be that. And again, I hate to use the term myself, but I hope that Ange, he pulls through with what he said at the start of the year, that he always wins something in his second year. I'm confident that he can. I just want to see it come to the flesh and come to the light. So hopefully that Manchester United game, we're ready for it.
I agree, because I'm really hinging a lot on the two domestic cups, because you can't convince me that if Ange can't get us fucking right. We haven't been in a final since Jose, and we sacked him before it. And there's no way you can convince me that like we just got to get to win one of those, bro. And I'm so fucking good. But if we fail to win one of those, like, then the doubt is really going to be like, if there's a manager out there, we should upgrade, in my opinion. But I'm not doing that till summer, because like I'm willing to give him the chance to see how we fucking do in those other 3 competitions that we're still a part of. And I've kind of always, you know, at the beginning of the year, everyone's what they wanted was a little bit different, you know, and on a general consensus, you know, I saw a lot of top 10 and a cup of any kind will do. So if that's what I'm to believe, Elijah, like, we're still in competition for all 3, right? Or for 3 of them, not all 4, but like all, you know, obviously like the Premier League's not
cups,
really.
Yeah, we ain't doing nothing in the Premier League, but yeah, we're still in pretty much contention for all of that. And yeah, that's when I think at the start of the season I predicted we finished between 7th and 10th with no trophy. Right now we are 11th, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, to be honest, I don't know, man. It's the things with Tottenham right now is I don't have any confidence going into any game anymore. And I don't know if that's because I'm too negative or because I don't have enough like hope in the players or hope in the manager or hope in the board. I just don't have any hope with anything.
I wouldn't say negative. That sounds like apathy to me. Like you're apathetic towards Tottenham and what can happen in any given match day.
I'm a bit pessimistic, I guess.
Yeah, and I don't think that's like a so not understandable thing to be, which is why I kind of always said, like, whether you're Ange in, Ange out, Ange, it doesn't really matter. Like, it's all good because they're all just opinions at the end of the day. And like, we're allowed to feel however we want to feel because we all perceive things differently. Like this loss to me really punched me in the gut closer to apathy because I am of the sense like, man, I really felt like we were going to be up for it. And we were for like just a little bit. And it's just disappointing. It's like time and time again, we seem to capitulate. But look, George, I know you got to go.
Yeah.
I have another guest that might be joining. I think Dan from the Hotspur Hood might be joining. So
big up Dan.
He will be maybe not so apathetic. I think we'll have a nice little spectrum here. We'll have Dan.
We'll have a nice big spectrum now because Dan's gonna take it all the way to the other side. But I'll give it to Dan. Dan makes some very good points.
Big up Dan. And he never makes it personal either. So big up Dan for that.
I feel like Dan never makes it personal. And he actually has very strong reasoning behind it. And he's going to give you, you know, sort of the tactics why and also why he thinks it won't be successful. And do you know what? I like you said, Jacob, I think I'm neither here or there. There's no right answer. We all just have an opinion and we can all manipulate the stats to, you know, be evidence for whatever we want it to see. Whatever we want to see, we're going to see with those stats. And ultimately, yeah, man, there's no right or wrong in this Ange in or Ange out debate. It's just interesting to see the different views. And we all want the best for Tottenham. So hopefully, Ange does good regardless. Because whether you want Ange in or out, I want Tottenham to succeed.
We all want Ange to do well. Yeah.
And that's the thing. I tweeted that after the Chelsea match, which real quick, here's the link. If you're too lazy to click the fucking description, there it is. The link's right there. Jordan's channel. Go subscribe. He invites me on from time to time, so you'll catch me shouting obscenities over there. And I appreciate you having me on today as well. So, George, thanks for joining. And you know, if you can stay, if you got to jump at any moment, just feel free. But yeah, it's been a good one. And that's something else. I'm trying to go back to the point that I had in my head whenever you said the last part you said, George, which was
about everyone wanting us to succeed. All good.
Yeah, I remember. Thank you. So I tweeted after Chelsea that, like, look, this loss hurts every Spurs fan, no matter you love Ange, you hate Ange, whatever. If you're a Spurs fan, you're upset at that loss. Bottom line. And if you're a Spurs fan, when and if we can progress, win, and challenge and actually win, every Spurs fan, it don't matter if they're Ange out, Ange in, they're all going to be fucking glurking themselves. They're going to be fucking...
We're all going to be celebrating together, trust me. We're all going to be... But I will say this. The ones like myself and Jacob, we're going to be celebrating more. Because guess what? We're going to be telling you, I told you so. I'm going to be running that back on the screen.
You get ice cream and whipped cream, but we get a cherry on top. We all get ice cream sundaes with whipped cream and the sprinkles and the whatever fuck you want, but we get the cherry. You're right. Come on now.
Nah, come on, man. But big up now.
Hey, big up, George. Appreciate you joining me, man.
Make sure everyone
That's it,
smashes the likes before you leave this channel, man. Before you leave the show, smash the like button. Big up.
Come on, man. Come on, man. It's free. It costs you nothing. Also, there's a poll in the chat right now. Let me check in with that as Jordan leaves. 115 votes. So that tells me we could hit 100 likes while we're live. And if we can't, then really you're more clueless than you think Ange is. How about that? The question is, where are you at with this club? Out of 115, 62% says Ange in and Levy out. Kuti is right. 15% says Ange and Levy out. Not the players' fault. Nice. We get to bubble wrap the players some more. 11% says everyone out. Everyone's fault. Fuck. And then 12% says I'm a rival fan, enjoying the tears and laugh out loud at you. So that's very nice. They're laughing at us. He really, yeah, you can't, you know, because if I'm laughing at them at all, every juncture I can, because sometimes as a Spurs fan, like I said, it's all we got.
I was cooking Man City when we were beating them. I was cooking them. So the game's the game, man. Is what it is.
Yeah. Oh, last year, bro, when we were 10 matches undefeated, a lot of people from a lot of clubs have been waiting. Like, they just couldn't wait for us to fall because, well, for me, I would go on to these big channels like Don Hassam, Footy Judge Mo, the people who just sent the raid over. I would go on these channels and I would, you know, when we were 10 games undefeated, I would just say like, what's that? Can't hear you from all the way down there. Buddy, the wind's blowing too strong at the top of the mountain for me to know what's going on with you peasants down there. And, you know, I was just enjoying it because I knew it was going to fucking crumble at any moment. But, you know, it's like getting into Willy Wonka's factory. You know, you're broken. Security's going to find you at some point. So you're just trying to eat as much candy as possible. That's kind of the way I was taking that run.
You know what I'm saying? Without chewing that bubble gum, turn into a blueberry.
Yeah, you catch me in the chocolate river was always the one that kind of got me. Like, that
I ain't
sounds
gonna
good.
lie. I used to love chocolate, man. Not as much now, but I used to love chocolate.
As an adult, it sounds unsanitary. Like, if you think of the hair and the dust and the chocolate river.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
It's disgusting. The fucking bacteria
100%.
never be. I mean, FDA is a criminal organization here in America, but even they wouldn't allow that to be going on. But look, I do love laughing at everyone else. I've got. Well, I don't know how much time you've got, but I've got maybe another 25 minutes till my wife tried to kill me. So,
I'm chilling. I'm here.
Cool. So I've got a couple tweets, and since you're good chilling, we'll just go ahead and run through some of my bookmarks. This is something I do that helps me remember the stuff that I want to talk about. So, in the line of standing on your business, if you're going to say some stupid shit online, if y'all didn't see this tweet from Dave Ellis, I also have a tweet of my own. So he says here, we all know why this poor bloke's been signed, alluding to Yang Min Yuk, the South Korean that is going to be coming to us anytime this month and can be available for selection in January. Says the club's petrified of losing the income of the South Korean fans. A season of Son and him on the same pitch before Son departs will give us 2 to 3 more years of that South Korean money. If he's any good, it's going to be just pure luck. So I thought that was quite funny, and I made a tweet of it on my own, Elijah. You probably missed it. So I'm going to share it here with you. I said, in regards to Johnny Cardoso, they said bring him in January. Well, my rebuttal to that is we all know why that poor bloke's going to get signed. The club's petrified of losing that American fans. A season of liberty and him on the pitch before freedom departs. That's going to give you another 2 to 3 more years of American dollars. If he's any good, it'd be just pure luck. So I'm going to hold Johnny Cardoso to the same obligatory racist standard that Dave Ellis gave. But shout out Maddie, one of the good folks on Twitter, always fighting the good fight. She's of Korean descent, so she gets a lot of Asian hate thrown at her just for being a Spurs fan. Yeah, it's kind of like last year they were all making fun of the Korean fans who travel, call them tourist fans and this and that, and they're the reason, they're the problem with the club, not the racist bigotry. This was actually something I'm saving. I was gonna make it. You know, I like to have random clips. It's just kind of a silly.
Oh,
video.
I used to do this in school.
This guy's really good though. Like, I used to do a version of this, a very shitty Redux version in high school, middle school.
Yeah, he's something different. Oh, we used to do this, for real.
Hey, I like that water. I'm like,
the water. The little sound,
like that.
that makes it way better. I ain't gonna lie.
You know, when we back up, I'm going to bring this out because like a lot of my clips are for when I'm being braggadocious to the fans who said we wouldn't win. And now it's like, I'm not up right now, but I miss when I could play like a clip, you know, I'll just play it for you. This is what I played for like when we beat Man City. This is how it felt.
You ain't really fuck with me way back then, girl. How about now? Cause I'm up right now. And you up right now. Oh, yeah. How about now? Cause I'm up right now.
Yeah, I was in my... Because I'm up right now. Yeah, you could tell she's singing her church choir for sure. Yeah, she got that godly gospel voice. It's fantastic. But it's how I felt, you know. I felt like I was up. We are up. I am up. Ange broke Pep. We kick-started a historical factor against Pep Guardiola, and then he's losing to someone else later, and he's scratching his head up saying, I want to hurt myself. And now we are all scratched up. We're looking like Pep, and now we're saying we want to hurt our...
Here, with my nail.
That's fine.
I want to hurt myself, yeah. Good night.
It's that chuckle at the end for me, the little chuckle. I want to hurt myself.
For real,
like
100%.
My nail, like this. I don't know if it's like his English, you know, because it's his second language or third language, whatever knows. But I don't believe him. I think someone fucked him up, or he got in a scuffle with somebody. I don't know. Maybe that, like, who takes their thumb and scratch their nose like this?
I don't know. I don't think it was something. I think he did scratch, because if you scratch yourself too hard, you can get cut. But I don't think it was his thumb that did it. It was probably doing this. Because you know you scratch, it's usually your middle finger that you scratch.
Yeah.
You know, maybe he was just maybe he ended up cutting himself.
Yeah,
but
Cam Shank says I think Ederson was fighting when there is a rumor that because since he was all scratched up, Ederson has been benched.
I mean, Pep was doing that. Pep does that routinely, and he does it. He did it last season. He did it the season before. There's just times where Ederson, because he has a problem with his hamstring, I'm pretty sure. So once in a while, Ortega will start a couple games. He did it in the Premier League. He'll start a few games. Even remember when Son missed the chance, like Ortega was in net. So I don't know. I think Ortega and Ederson, they just swap. Ederson's the main keeper, but Ortega will play a few games here and there just to keep him match ready, just in case.
Yeah, I agree with you. And you look at like Liverpool as well. Even when Alisson is healthy, they still rotate in Kelleher just fine. And now you see that he's been out for some time. Kelleher's doing just fine. Hello, Chris O'Connor says Romero's leaving. Not yet, anyway. But speaking of leaving, I saw this tweet. Just thought it'd be interesting, like dialogue. If a decent offer came in for Yves Bissouma, would you sell? And what is a decent offer to you for Bissouma?
Well,
it's a crazy angle, so I'm gonna scroll up a little bit. This photographer got the crazy angle of this. I'm not gonna lie.
It is kind of crazy, but I don't know. A decent offer for someone because he's at 28, 29, around that age. Around that 30,
I think he just turned 27.
Nah, I know he's at least 28.
Because when he did the balloon, I was like, "You're a fucking grown man." And I remember looking up I'm looking it up right now as I ramble.
Oh yeah, because I was about to look it up too. I ain't gonna lie.
No, don't worry. This is what I do. It's called a stall tactic.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, blah 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 blah. Actually, yeah, you're right. 28 years old. He just turned 28 in August.
Okay, so he's nowhere near 29 then. But I say I don't know, 30 to 40 million. I would sell him. It's not a knock on Bissouma. I like Bissouma as a player. I like him, but his decision making just is not great. And obviously, the Chelsea penalty we can look to, but I would rather look to Sancho's goal, the first goal, and the whole. It's just a cut example of him not knowing when to commit and when not to commit. If he commits to Sancho right there, Sancho can't get the shot off because he's either off balance or he gets blocked by Bissouma. But Bissouma's just watching. He's standing there watching him or jogging, watching him, not committing, and Sancho gets the shot off and scores. And then there's a time where Caicedo's in the box, and obviously he slides Caicedo, for what reason, I don't know, and gives away the penalty. And Bissouma, remember, he got booked in 20 seconds against Man City. There's just so many different times where he's not a 6. He's really an 8. He has to play 6 because we don't have one, and Bentancur suspended. But Bissouma's just too rash. he's had 18 months to learn the system as the rest of the players, and he just keeps making bad decision after bad decision on the pitch. He doesn't know when to commit, when not to. His passing is good, but it's not great, especially for a 6. I like his ball carrying ability, and I like the strength he has on the ball. But if 30 to 50 million came in for Bissouma, I would sell him, because I think Bentancur, as inconsistent as he is better. And we need to get another actual 6 anyway. And with the signing of Archie Gray, who's supposed to be a 6 but isn't ready yet, we need someone who can just slot into the team right now. That gives Archie Gray a couple more years to develop. Hopefully he exceeds my expectations, because I don't have high ones set for him. And that would mean moving on with either Bissouma or Bentancur, and right now it'd be Bissouma. So I would sell him.
Fair enough. Cam Shank says 35 to 50 million for Bissouma. For me, Bissouma, I'm very disappointed, honestly. When we signed him, I was very excited, very thrilled at the prospect, because I really enjoyed watching him at Brighton a lot. I remember every time we played him, it was just like, why is this American Express team so fucking good versus us? And I thought it was just because me and Seagulls go way back, and I genuinely have a long, heated historical battle with the Seagulls, if I may. Because fuck those fucking flying pieces of shit. Rat birds, nothing good for fucking shit, little fuckers. Hate Seagulls.
For us, it's pigeons. Same thing, but it's pigeons. That's how
really? Y'all hate pigeons like that?
Pigeons is what you think about seagulls is pigeons in especially London, literally.
There's a place in Puerto Rico where I went, and you go, and there's like a big wall of pigeon cubbies, and like you go feed the pigeons and shit. Anyway, I don't know what that has to do with anything. Yes. But for me, Bissouma, I'm disappointed. I mean, when we spent what we spent on him, I thought we were getting a steal, and I thought maybe it had to do with his alleged legal cases, or not cases. I thought that's why maybe we got the price tag so low. And I'll be honest, I don't think Conte wanted him, because Conte didn't use him. Conte didn't like him. It was very obvious. And I thought he was going to get his like rejuvenated birth under Ange. And for the first 9 matches last year, he did. And then I think Sarr had a hamstring injury. He played shit, and then for a game, and then the next game was Luton, and he got a stupid ass red. And since then is when it's like, I've never been sure of him. Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. And it seems to be the story of like our players a lot. Sometimes they're maybe good. Like, I don't know. I don't know how to really take this. I'll be honest. In regards to Bissouma's like lack of give a fuck. And then when the balloon incident happened, like, I'm not one to pass judgment. I try not to anyway. Sometimes I do, but I try not to, because I'm a man of proclivities and I have vices. We all have vices and certain things we are inclined to enjoy more than others. For me, I just saw people using the gas, whipping gas, balloon air, whatever they call it. I don't know. They actually sell it over the counter in some places, and you can buy it on Amazon. It's fucking sick. And like, I saw what it did to some people around me at a younger age. And granted, his brain's fully developed, like, so it's not going to necessarily affect his like future brain development. Because
doing the same thing, yeah.
But Dele Alli, there's the photos of him doing the balloons and shit in Budapest or whatever, and then you're supposed to be working your way back from Turkey or whatever. It's like, I'm not, again, bro, I've done a lot of stupid shit in my life, but when I have done something that I knew was stupid, I don't do it again, and it's just like, I feel like, you know, maybe it's a cultural thing. Maybe I just don't understand, because maybe people someone in the UK can advise me more. Maybe it's more of a, but here in America, the people that I saw who did it like as a night out, as like we're hanging out, we're doing whippets. Oh, that's what they used to call whippets. Like, hey, bro, you in freaking whippet, dog. Yeah. It was like, but it wasn't.
It's more canisters, yeah.
It was like for BB guns or for paintball guns or something. It was like the oxide,
it's like
and
helium or something like that. It's like helium or something like that. But yeah, people.
Helium just makes your voice go all high. Like helium makes so like I used to do that shit as a kid because it was funny to make our voice go funny. But like when we're older teenagers and people were trying to get fucked up on the weekends, it was like we're gonna do whippets. We're all gonna hit whippets, and like eventually I started realizing there was a common theme with the people who enjoyed the whippets and wanted the whippets. They all weren't that fucking smart.
Yeah,
Like
it's
at the
it's
end of the
not
day,
smart to be inhaling them type of gases. Like it's just
so then
it
when
doesn't make sense.
Bissouma, exactly. So then when Bissouma's making stupid choices and in like a moment of this or that, and you do the not good one, it's like I don't want to blame the man for enjoying himself, but it's like if Jack Grealish puts in a bad performance, are we going to assume that maybe he had wine last night because he likes drinking and there's videos of him drinking? You know, we don't even know that he likes drinking a lot. That's just a media spin. So it's like we don't know these players like we think we do. And I'm hoping that I'm like very wrong about Bissouma and like that I'm wrong about the balloons and that they don't fuck up your cognitive decision making. I don't know. To me, when you're providing someone with an excuse, it's like, baby, I didn't cheat on you, but you were at the movies with another girl. Yeah, but we didn't do anything. It's like, okay, I don't know that you
Plus
didn't
put it online. It's like,
now that was just fucking stupid.
Yeah, it's
bro.
like John Morant with a gun. Like what are you putting it online, bro? Like what are you doing, bro? Jeopardizing hundreds of millions, bro. What are you doing?
Yeah, it's just stupid. Just stupid decisions. And again, I've been stupid. But this guy's fucking 4 years. Wait, is it 4? He's 28. Shit, I turned 30. I'm 6 years older. Okay, I'm a little bit older than him now. When I think about it. But God damn, I'm old. Yeah, I'm old, man. I was born in 1990. And a lot of people talk about the 90s, but they ain't lived the 90s. But I did. But Bissouma, you know, when I was 28. Actually, I think I just met my wife. So that's when my smart started really kicking in. So everything pre-28, I was kind of fucking shit. So, you know, I try not to blame him. I don't want to be like PC police. Like I got made fun of a lot by Paul Hotspur hippie. He's like, he calls me Nancy Reagan now. Cause I did a whole like, Bissouma, shame on you. You're supposed to be a leader. Cause I was upset when it happened. Because I rated him highly, then he came here and he's bad, and it's like, what the fuck?
1963? Golly.
What's 19s?
Neil
hey, big up Neil Shafton.
Big up Neil.
Yeah.
Big up Neil. Sorry, my fault, guy. I'm a 2000. I was born in 02, so this is all. You know,
you were born in 2002. What the fuck was I doing in 2002? I was 12.
It was 12.
I graduated high school. Well, I guess my math was any better. I could have told you already, but 7 years after you were 7 when I graduated high school.
Damn, 2009.
That makes me feel old, bro.
That's when my little sister was born. Hey.
Yeah. You know,
life is crazy.
Maybe it's just because I'm immature as fuck. Maybe I just never grown up, but I don't want to grow up. Yeah. There's a song
I hear people
back
say
in the day. I don't
you're
want
as
to be
young
told
as you
to
feel.
grow up. Yeah,
you're as young as you feel. That's why. That's the saying, isn't it? So
yeah, when I stand up, my body's gonna be like, it's so hard. I'll tell you this right now. Something if I could tell, you know, you always do the like, oh, if I could tell my younger self this, bro, just watch your posture and take care of your spine. That's just spinal consciousness will take you far if you just care a little bit. Because I didn't take good care of my spine, and as a tall, big man, it's affecting me later in life. And it's like, if I could tell, brush your fucking teeth, floss those motherfuckers, or else they're gonna have to get pulled out in Mexico, like me. Or you could, you know, just take care of those things. My mom told me to do all these things. I didn't, and now I'm living proof of the results in which she tried to prevent. So I'm humbly saying to you and anyone your age, just take good care of that spine. That's all I'm gonna say.
I have to, yeah. I stretch pretty like a few times a week because I have to. I'm tall as well, so I have to because the lower back pain is something that runs in my family too. Lower back pain, so I have to stretch because if I don't stretch consistently, it's an issue. Especially being a bouncer, man. I'm standing up all the time, so stretching. Something we gotta do. 100%.
You do. For me, what helps release my lower back is a forward fold, what they call in yoga a forward fold. I don't know if and there's also one where like you do a forward fold and then you grab your elbows and then you let the weight of your arms. And bro, I'm telling you, when I do that, my upper spine will crack 3 times, and the pressure on my lower back is so much better. Anyway, I could talk about my fucking breaking body all day, but instead, let's see what Fabrizio Romano has to say on the latest transfer news.
El Satora, here we go, or should I say, twist my nips. Fabrizio Romano here.
All right, so Twist My Nips is a here we go, in case you didn't know. El Satora, here we go. Or should I say, Twist My Nips.
Ange, Postecoglou.
Oh, you know what? No, I've been cutting that clip short because he's been upsetting me. But right now, there's only 2 people I know for sure that feel the same way I do, and it's these 2.
Ange, Postecoglou.
Cristian Romero.
Cristian Romero. So put some fucking respect on my goat. All right. Look, man. I still got a little time. Let's see what else we see. This picture's crazy, bro. That's a crazy angle.
It is a crazy
I thought this was funny. So Tottenham Hotspur tweeted, "Big up Neil Shafton. You're only as old as you feel," like they said. Oh, Hunter Yumi, you want Ange, ladies and gentlemen? Ange, ladies and gentlemen.
Ange. Ange, ladies and gentlemen.
There you go. That was just for you. Cristian Romero. This probably the angle's crazy. Big up making good time.
You've been holding that clip hostage. Seeing people saying, "Hey, it's back now." You've been holding that Romero clip going. Yeesh.
I've had about 4 different clips of Cristian Romero that I've deleted in my angers and frustrations. And if I can be honest, really, this year, he hasn't made me feel good like he did last year. This year, it's been more of like this.
And
there's about 10 more seconds of that, but I think you get the idea. He was struggling. Ten Hag had people down crazy.
Am I a prick? No, I'm not standing for this shit. I ain't standing for this shit, bro.
That's one of my favorite videos of all time, just because it was us that beat him. My favorite videos.
And then in his match reaction, some people are walking by saying like, "Come on, you Spurs!" or
"Come on, you Spurs!" Yeah,
he's like, that's what triggered that moment. He's like, "Spurs fans taking the piss out of me. Am I a prick? Am I a fucking prick?" It was like, oh, this is great.
You know,
trying to banter us. Yeah,
you gotta love it, man.
You know, and you do. So I had this. Tottenham tweeted, "Destiny and Radu Dragusin visited 2 of our local food banks to, excuse me, to deliver essential items ahead of Christmas." And this person tweeted this video, which, if you know, you know. So, this is the response video.
I got a son. I got 2 twins on the way. I wouldn't still.
It says guys all of a sudden become more a family man when they're facing charges, huh?
Yo, babe, I beg you, let me take my son to court with me.
They say this Destiny. They say this is Dragusin. Hey, I beg you, let me go serve some kids some food for Christmas, because I'm going to court soon.
My man's spitting though. I can't lie. That's facts. That's 100%.
It's a. Sometimes, like, X is still a piece of shit because Elon Musk has fucked it. But there's sometimes, like, this is why I love the world in general, because people are so fucking creative, man. And the responses to shit, I would have never thought of this video as a response to that post. Like, that's just fucking hilarious. So I had to bookmark that. Quick question, because it is Pletty Goal who says it, but Marcus Rashford apparently is for sale. This person said, "Spurs fans, would you take him? Would you take Marcus Rashford?"
Do not like Rashford. I don't rate him that much as a player. I would not take him. He's budget Son. He's budget Son, and Son is already getting up there in age. I don't think Rashford does much for us, so I would not sign him at all. No chance.
If you would have asked me like 3-4 years ago, I would have been all over it. I think he might be. Oh, look, Minerals is here with the same question. Would you take Rashford? That's the question. Jacob, in your opinion, what percentage of the club is Ange in, Ange out? I don't know. honestly, I think he's been broken. I think the club, Manchester United, broke him, broke players like Paul Pogba. They tried to blame Zlatan Ibrahimovic, but you can't because Zlatan's too great. But I feel like the club sometimes, like even with Onana, he gets there, and the first thing they're talking about is, oh, he dropped his keys in the parking lot. If he can't hang on to his keys, how's he going to catch a ball that gets crossed into the box? You know, kind of weird shit. Like, it's like us on steroids almost, like for weirdness. Because for me, like, again, have a go at Ange for his tactics, his substitutions, his in-game management, yada, yada, whatever. That's all cool. That's all fun. I start to make fun of people when they're like, his hands are in his pockets and he's looking clueless and he's fat and he's got gray hair and he's got he looks down in interviews. It's like, fuck off. Who gives a shit about any of that, in my opinion? But yeah, for me, Marcus Rashford, nah. I wouldn't, nah. But I think, you know, there's something to be said about players like Sancho. You know, you go to United and they fuck you up. And they don't want to love on you, and you need a little bit of loving. And now look at him, gets a little bit of loving, and he's fucking nutmegging Pedro Porro. Then Pedro Porro's tweeting his own stats, and then everyone's calling him out about it, and then he's deactivating his Twitter. Look, that could be Sancho right now, but instead everyone's saying Sancholini. So yeah, for me, nah. Looks like no one. Everyone says keep him far away. I don't know if he'd flourish here. The answer is probably more likely than not no. And he makes 2 times what Son. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's on like 350K, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. And see, that's what it was when he signed that when they started paying him more is when he really started like not doing well. So and I don't think he would.
He's a purple patch player. That's the thing. I like. That's why I say budget down Son in particular, because Son is pretty much the same. Like, he's a purple patch player. When he's in form, he's really in form. When he isn't, he really isn't. That's the same thing with Rashford.
See, and I would have fought you about that last year. But this year, I don't know that I've.
Last year he was in form.
It's almost like that meme. What is the guy painting his face as a clown? It's like, in the beginning, I'm a fight. Like, all the years I would fight it were before this one. I would have fought you about it last year, but this year it's like, how can I say Brennan Johnson's in a purple patch, but he's got more goals than Son? You know?
Yeah, because remember, Son won the Golden Boot, and then the next season scored 5 goals in the entire season. Like, Son has been this, and to be fair, I feel like part of him is dependent more on Harry Kane.
Wait, he won the Golden Boot and then scored 5? Wait, didn't he win the Golden Boot with Conte when we got top 4, and then Conte's sacking season, he only had 5 goals?
He scored 5 goals in a season, yep. He scored 5 goals. I don't know if it's a season.
How many games did he play? Was he...
Pretty much the entire. He was healthy the whole season. He just didn't have a good season. But that's the thing. Like with Son is like Son when he's in form, he's really in form. Like he's unplayable almost. But the thing is, his Son is just getting up there in age, and it is what it is. And Rashford is the same way. Like Rashford, when he signed that deal, had scored almost like 20 goals in the league, something like that. I'm not too sure, but he had scored almost 20 goals in the league, and then since then he's gone on to score like 5, 6 in a season. So Rashford.
I see what you mean.
Probably he'd end up being relegated to like a Brendan Johnson kind of role, and we already have Brendan Johnson doing that. So Rashford, he just wouldn't fit us at all. No chance in hell.
I agree. And speaking of people who don't fit us, well, if it doesn't fit or not, it's like a pair of shoes that you just don't own anymore. It's just never there. Richarlison continues to reject inquiries from the Saudi Pro League. As of right now, he is not looking to leave Tottenham. His ultimate goal is to put his injury struggles behind him and return to the Brazilian national team ahead of the 2026 World Cup. And then there was also a Brazilian outlet that reported a rumor saying Ange is looking to replace Richarlison in January. Now, replace or not, he's just not fucking there, so we have to have somebody. It can't be Will Lancashire on the bench versus Liverpool. It's going to be, but that's what it can't be. And not even saying Richarlison on the bench brings me a bunch of fucking joy or confidence, but like there's something I think we got to cut our losses. I love the guy as a guy. I hope he does well in life. I just don't think he's good enough at this level.
Done. One thing I didn't like about that is there was no mention of fighting back at Tottenham, which means that he knows his time is probably done. You see injury struggles and to return to the national team. And you know what it is? A lot of people get stick for going to the Saudi league, especially internationally, because we saw what happened with Kante We saw Gabby Vega, 21-year-old. He got slammed for going to the Saudi league. So young in his career.
Bergwijn got dropped from the Dutch squad because he went to Saudi.
Yeah, Bergwijn. Yeah, Coleman dropped him because it was that disgraceful. So I think that Richarlison probably would want to go to the Saudi league, but because he wants to come back to the national team, he can't go to the Saudi league because of the scrutiny you face for going to the Saudi league. Really, because we know the Saudi league is there for a payday. That's what you're going for.
But Neymar's there.
So, Neymar's there, but Neymar,
be mad at him. He's got Neymar tattooed on his fucking back. I mean, who's looking at that?
When you're one of the greatest, you can get away with it. You know, when you're Ronaldo, when you're Messi in the MLS, when you're Neymar, you can get away with it. But not someone like Richarlison. You can't get away with that. You know, so
that's fair. I got no rebuttal for that.
It is what it is, yeah. And besides, Neymar's been injured for the last 2 seasons. He's going back to Brazil now. So
I think he played one game when he came back and he got hurt again.
And he got hurt in that game. Yeah, his hamstring. I feel bad for Richarlison because he is a good striker. I believe he's a good striker, but it's unfortunate. Injuries are unfortunate. It is what it is. Yeah.
I think if he has the right supporting cast, he can be a decent player. I've just seen a lot in a Tottenham shirt specifically. Shit first touch, shit pass, some decent hold up play, a couple of good strikes of the ball. But outside of his, like, all of his goals were very unimpressive for me, except for the 2 versus Everton last year. Those 2 goals were the best goals I've ever seen him score. But outside of that, to me, whether you think he's shit, you think he's mid, you think he can be better than any of that, doesn't really matter, because if you're fucking hurt, you're nothing to us. You're just a player taking up an international spot at this point.
Very much.
So let's see. I saw this. Who knows how much it's fucking true? Whoever the fuck Sammy Mokbel is. Who's fucking Sammy Mokbel? Oh, well, chief football reporter for the Daily Mail. And he's got 158,000 followers. So fair. I guess he can. Okay. Fair. Very, very fair. He says, Daniel Levy's prepared to give Ange Postecoglou, quote, every opportunity to turn Tottenham Hotspur's fortunes around. That is the final question I want to end off with, because I don't want to go to 2 hours. I'm already over the time. My wife's definitely upset. But I want to end off with that question. And again, the link right here to Elijah's channel. I would love it if the United Spurs of America community, the people who fuck with me, could just go over there and subscribe. Even, I would say, to watch him. But even if you don't, just go over there, sub, just to say, hey, I'm showing support for someone that Jacob asked me to come sub, so I will. So if anyone who's like, I fuck with Jacob, I don't know this guy, I don't know if I want to sub, just do it because Jacob said. Well, don't, actually, because I always say, don't do what I say. I say, don't listen to me. But
I say, watch some videos, and if you enjoy it, then subscribe. That's what I would say.
I would say subscribe, and you don't even have to fucking go back. It could just be a sub and just never watch it. And that way he can hit 1K, and he can get paid to do it. So then that way he does more of it. And, you know, I would like to see that. So I always like, you know, like for Durag Diaries, George, same thing. I'd like to see him hit his one, because once you get that 500, 1K, something like, I think YouTube changed to 500. But once you get that 500, 1K around there, you can start monetizing. So just look, be like Just a Harmless Potato. Be like Destiny 5. They subbed. That's 2. That is 2.
You should subscribe to George as well, for real. Durag Diaries.
Make sure he's he's very well, he's got a lot of good friends of big content creators. So you know he's going to have like really big content going there whenever that thing gets running. So make sure you subscribe there. So my final question for you, Elijah, before we say goodnight or good day or good day, mate. Puffy shrimp on the barbie. Do you believe Daniel Levy is prepared to give Ange Postecoglou, quote, every opportunity to turn Tottenham Hotspur's fortunes around? And I love the creative wording because it alludes to the fact of, well, I didn't say we'd go buy. That quote doesn't mean we're going to invest money. It just means I'm going to stand here longer while you flop around like a fish out of water. What do you think? Where's your opinion? Big up, Cam.
For some reason, believe it. I'm not going to lie, because top 4 is evidently to Levy. Top 4 means more than winning a trophy because of the money that comes along with it. And right now, we don't look like we're going to finish in the top 4. So if the Levy I know would have sacked Ange at this point. So the fact that he hasn't, I'm willing to believe that Levy's actually going to give him an opportunity to turn it around. Now, come end of the season, if he decides to sack him, that's something different. But as of right now, in terms of like after the Chelsea game, I don't think Ange's in danger of being sacked. I'd be very, very surprised if he gets sacked. I wouldn't want him to get sacked either, as of right now, because I'd give him to the end of the season. But yeah, I kind of believe it. I don't think Levy's prepared to sack him. Honestly, I think most of the fan base is still Ange in, and there are Ange outers, a lot of them, but I think majority of the fan base is probably still fully backing Ange. I'm not one of them, but I understand why people are that way. But yeah, I think Levy's prepared to back Ange for at least the rest of the season, in my opinion.
And I would say even the backing and not just the financial sense, because, you know, again, I always take these things with a grain of salt, but every year that we've done that PR forum, the fan forum thing, you know, there's always something that comes out that wasn't said, that wasn't a clip, that wasn't part of their video, but it's something, what I like to say, the brown envelopes kind of just throw out there as like, rumblings around at the fan forum, you know, the mood at the fan forum was like, yada, yada, yada. And one of the things that they said, and, you know, maybe this is just me hoping, we don't know until the pudding is made or the gravy's made and splattered all over them mashed taters, and then you put a little hot sauce if you fancy. I do, in those mashed potatoes. That the mood, the general vibe at the fan forum this year was that Levy seemed to be more okay and accepting of league results not looking the best, in the hopes of actually building a structure that we're working on for this, you know, 4 years we signed Ange. Now, whether it's the 4 years, whether it's the full year, still remains to be seen. But the brown envelopes are saying that Ange seems to be, or that Levy now, as opposed to with Poch, with Jose, with Conte, with Nuno, but now he is in a place where he's like, well, we got the stadium built, we got this done, we got all this shit done. Now I can be okay if you're failing a little on the field, is kind of the vibe that they were going for. Again, I don't know, who knows if that's fucking true. We'll only know if Ange sees out the contract or sees out the season. I hope he does, personally, because I always feel like, you know, you could bring in Jesus H. Christ. He can ascend from the heavens, and he'd be on the touchline for Tottenham Hotspur with his hands in his fucking head, just like the rest of us.
Yeah, because he ain't saving this. No cap.
Yeah, I don't think Levy will sack him, because to me, look at how much big media coverage it's getting now. It was on Paramount Plus. You got fucking Carragher talking about it. You got all these pundits now talking about this amount of managers and this amount of years. Sounds to me like the pressure's on, and he knows that if this is another one, now it's like not just I can get away with it kind of a thing. But look, I got to go. My wife texts me. I got work later tonight. But look, I'm going to be working tonight. So if you comment on this video, I will see it and I'll respond and I'll heart it. Just like I do every comment that people leave. But typically when I do a fucking long ass live stream, no one leaves comments down below. But if you do leave a comment down below, you're sexy, all right? And I hope someone gives you exactly what you want tonight.
All right, man.
But we move. Elijah, thank you so much. Tell the people where they can find you. When's the next time you got some content out on your channel, my friend?
Hey, I uploaded the video just a few hours before I hopped on the live, and I was live earlier today, so it was a busy day for the channel. Too Much of V is my second channel, where this is my Tottenham channel, so I always make sure to plug that one. Got my main channel, just Elijah Torsi, just my name that's on the screen, where when I can, I just talk about just random stuff on the internet, because that's what I started doing originally. But appreciate to Jacob for having me on. It's a pleasure to be on. And I'm glad I can finally break out my circle a bit instead of just doing lives on my own. I can do it with more people now. So I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, amazing. Before I'm going to end the stream, and then what we call, I don't know if I'll bring you back up backstage.
Yeah.
And let's exchange WhatsApp, man. Great conversation. I'd love to. I like, well, you know, we're just running through some of the Twitter shit. I didn't even have to ask you nothing. We were just having a conversation. So first of all, you're a natural, and you're really easy to have some on-air chemistry with in a non Meek Mill way. I mean that.
Oh yeah, no,
because you know, it is, you know, it's hard getting out there and getting your name out sometimes, and it's like you kind of need for me, I needed people to say, hey, like, go sub to Jacob, go check out Jacob, and you know, then things start rolling. So again, as an observer of your content, before I even reached out to you today, I've observed your content and I said, I kind of like the vibe. Like, I don't necessarily agree with all your footballing opinions, but I liked your vibe. You had this like this vibe that I could chill, listen, I could chill, keep the chat on, you know, just I liked the way that you run your thing, your uploads, your lives. I like the way that you run it. So make sure you go to his channel, subscribe, check out the video he posted today, like and comment, because it's very good for the algorithm if you like and comment. So that's why all the YouTubers say like, subscribe, share, and those are all free ways you can sponsor the channel and help them. Or you could be like Joshua and send £2. Says big up, lad. So big up Joshua for sponsoring tonight, and big up all the YouTube chat members for sponsoring every night. And look, ladies and gentlemen, we're never going to fix everything overnight. We're never going to fix it at the blink of an eye, but what we can fix is our own attitude. So as always, people, stay blessed, stay fresh, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs, man.
I call you Daddy Davis when I see you play on TV.
Daddy Davis?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you say? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay.
You like that? Can I call you Daddy all the time?
If you want.
United Spurs of America, with your hosts, Michael and Jacob.
Holy day,
Prepare
man.
for your match
Shut up
reaction.
about Holy Day. So why are you showing your tits out like fucking Pamela Anderson? Holy Day. You're fucking mood, bro.